Squid Game just dropped its jaw-dropping final Season 3 trailer, along with an exclusive new clip that's packed with secret clues and game-changing details. Today we're breaking down everything, from the smallest details to the wildest theories. The first scene starts off with the guards lined up in the main room, followed by Gi-hun, who now looks absolutely devastated. He stares the guards down and screams, "Why did you keep me alive?" Seeing rage consume him, the guards promptly pointed their weapon at him. But Gi-hun didn't care. He just kept asking why he was allowed to live, going to the extent of grabbing the end of the gun and pointing it at his own head, hysterically demanding the guards to shoot and kill him. But then something wild happened. Gi-hun himself raises the gun, pulling the trigger on himself. For a moment, we thought it was over, but then, click. Nothing. The gun was empty. The weapons had been emptied, made harmless, but why? Maybe the front man had secretly ordered it as a careful way to prevent any chance of another rebellion. A quiet safety measure built as a result of Gi-hun. Or worse, Gi-hun was being subjected to something even worse than death. Moments later, he's pinned to the floor, screaming in agony as the other players simply watch, some in empathy, others in confusion. While all of this is happening, the frontman is also watching, carefully, sipping on his drink nonchalantly as he watches Gi-hun beg for his own death. But suddenly the cries are disrupted by a mysterious call on In-ho's phone. This detail is crucial to Season 3's plot, and we'll come back to it later. This scene, while short, hides some interesting details. Straight away, we notice an open coffin in the middle of the room when Gi-hun was confronting the guards, meaning the scene happened right after the end of Season 2, the same coffin we saw Gi-hun in the teaser trailer. But the question is, why was Gi-hun kept alive? The first theory? The frontman had a change of heart. If you look closely at the moment In-ho watches Gi-hun's breakdown, something feels off. He's not smiling, not entertained, not satisfied, like he usually is during the games. He just sits there, cold, expressionless, maybe even regretful. It almost looks like he feels bad for Gi-hun. Could it be guilt? A leftover attachment from when he pretended to be just another player? But that's what Squid Game wants you to think. In-ho hasn't changed. Every time he protected Gi-hun, every moment of mercy, it was all part of a long game. A setup. To earn Gi-hun's trust, only to break him down when it counts most. And now he's pulling the final strings. The truth is, killing Gi-hun would have been too easy, too quick. In-ho knows what really destroys Gi-hun isn't death. It's watching everyone else die while he watches helplessly. And that's exactly what the frontman intends to make him endure. Which brings us to a more likely theory, psychological torture. What if this has all been part of In-ho's long game, slowly grinding Gi-hun down, stripping him of every last shred of hope, until there's nothing left but a shell, and when he finally hits rock bottom? To twist the knife even deeper, he would then lean in and ask, was it worth playing the hero? To understand the clip better, we need to revisit a brief but important scene from Netflix's final trailer, one that picks up right after the frontman answers the phone, because what he says next is absolutely diabolical. In-ho utters just 3 words. Kill them all. But who's on the other end of that line? Who is he trusting with such a brutal command? At this point, speculation runs wild. But honestly, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if the person receiving that call was none other than Captain Park. Let's not forget, Captain Park has proven himself more than capable of betrayal. Remember what he did out in the open sea? After years and years of tirelessly hunting for the Squid Game island, in the dead of night in the middle of those dark, endless waters, Captain Park just tosses one of his own men overboard, eliminating witnesses after being caught and manipulating the team's drone like it's just another Tuesday. And his betrayal didn't stop there. Captain Park is also the one who meticulously removed the tracking device from Gi-hun's teeth, the very device meant to lead the team of Jun-ho to the games. And he hid it in a random person's cooler, sending the team to the wrong island. Now, fast forward back to the frontman, who's just received a message. Jun-ho, along with his elite team, has finally found the island, or at the very least is closing in. And that's when the order comes. Kill them all. A desperate command to erase the threat swiftly and without mercy. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. We all know Inho would never knowingly order harm to come to one specific person, his own brother, Junho. So could it be that sparing Junho is no longer an option? Next, let's take a closer look at another clip. At first glance, this clip might seem almost insignificant, but believe it or not, the tiny fragment is jam-packed with information. Let's first focus on the two triangle guards we see in the foreground. Both of them seem to glance behind them, almost as if they've noticed something or someone moving nearby. Here's the odd part. They appear to be alone in this space. And more importantly, the way they're moving seems off. Typically, triangle guards are known for their discipline. They follow orders from the higher-ups. Their posture is rigid, their movements precise, almost mechanical. They are not meant to show curiosity nor hesitation. But in this clip, their behavior is anything but standard. The way they turn and look around seems almost human, almost anxious. This strange behavior leads me to a theory. Could these guards be Kang No-ul and Gyeong Seok, player 246? Think about it. We know that infiltration has happened before. We've seen Junho steal guards' uniforms to blend in, to gather information. So perhaps what we're witnessing here is Kang No-ul and Gyeong Seok entering the dorms in disguise. But why? What would be their goal? One possibility is that they're trying to reveal themselves to the remaining players. Maybe they've uncovered crucial information that could help the players survive the next brutal round. Or maybe they're attempting something far more dangerous, helping the players escape. Admittedly, this is a long shot. The security on the island is notoriously tight, but we've seen desperate actions before. When survival is on the line, people take risks. Now let's shift our attention to the background of the clip, because what we see next will shock you. If you look carefully, you'll notice a large number of stairs rising toward the ceiling. These stairs are used to access the higher beds in the dormitory. However, and this is key, the actual beds themselves appear to be missing, and the room looks eerily empty. The stairs remain, but they now lead to nothing. On the left side of the room, we can spot a small cluster of beds where a few players are seated. On the right side, there are a few more beds, also occupied. But the rest of the space? It's barren. It feels abandoned. So what does this tell us? Well, one likely explanation is that this scene takes place after the 5th game. By this point in the competition, the number of players would have been drastically reduced. The beds of the eliminated players are removed as a grim reminder of the deadly progress of the games. But this brings us to yet another important question. Who are the players we see here? Could these be the finalists? I tried my best to analyze the blurry footage and identify the remaining players. Unfortunately, the clip makes it incredibly difficult to recognize individual faces or numbers. But based on the number of the beds, I would estimate that there are around 5 beds. And thanks to their positioning, I thought that they could be the beds of player 222, Junhee, player 388, Daeho, player 333, Mayung-gi, player 120, Hyunju, and lastly, player 456, Gi-hun. Now compare this to Season 1. After the 5th game, there were only 3 players left standing. If this scene truly shows the aftermath of the 5th game, the fact that we see 5 players here suggests a change in the structure of the games this season. Could it be that the 2nd season introduces a new format, allowing more finalists to reach the end? Or is this an intermediate stage just before the ultimate showdown? Of course, there's always the possibility that what we're seeing is a carefully crafted misdirection, but if this is truly a glimpse of the final stretch, the implications are bigger. More finalists means more alliances, and more betrayals. Though one thing is certain, even in the short clip, the director has given us plenty to speculate about, and the answers may be closer than we think. Finally, let's take a closer look at the elevator scene in the final trailer, one that opens up a new world of theories. In this scene, we witness what seems to be a tense fight inside one of the island's elevators. But this isn't just any elevator. This particular one is known to grant access to the most critical zones of the entire facility, the frontman's private quarters, the control room, and other high-security areas reserved for only the most trusted individuals. The fight we see here is between what appears to be the Black Guard, or Commander, and a Triangle Guard. And this in itself is shocking. Guards are drilled to follow strict rules, to obey without question, and to maintain discipline at all times. The fact that a triangle guard would dare to physically engage a commander suggests that something has gone catastrophically wrong within the ranks. So the obvious questions arise. Who is this triangle guard, and why is this fight happening? One theory is that this could very well be Guard 11, Kang No Yul. We know from previous events that Kang No Yul managed to escape the island. Not only that, but she's also suspected of burning down the archive room, the one that contained the records of every past Squid Game edition. This act alone would have triggered a full-scale manhunt for her. It's possible that after causing such destruction, No Yul attempted to return to the facility, perhaps to gather more evidence, sabotage additional systems, or even confront the frontman himself. If caught inside this elevator en route to one of these secure zones, it would make sense that a fight would erupt between her and the commander, with her fighting desperately for survival. But as we've mentioned before, there's another possible scenario. This triangle guard could be Gyeong Seok, player 246. Given his known alliance with No Yul, it wouldn't be surprising if he had infiltrated the guards to help her mission. In this case, the fight might be a calculated distraction, allowing No Yul to proceed with her plan while he stalls the commander. Or perhaps Gyeong Seok's motivations go deeper. After witnessing the brutal deaths of so many fellow players, this confrontation might be fueled by a thirst for revenge, a personal vendetta against the very system that costed so many innocent lives. No matter which version is true, one thing is crystal clear. The Squid Game protocol is beginning to fall apart, and when the guards themselves no doubt begin to turn on each other, chaos is inevitable.